I'm Zach, and let's open up this meeting with a little prayer. Bow your heads with me. Dear Lord, a lot of stuff is going on in this world today. A lot of stuff is coming at us at once, but we pray that your hand guides us through each and every situation, one at a time, as they all guide us to be stronger on the other side when we come through them. It can be overwhelming with all these online classes and everything going on. I know we can get caught up in the reality of us and what it is, but we need to know that you are in control of every situation. With this coronavirus going around, I pray that, first of all, you keep every hand safe, no matter if they have it or they don't. And I pray that no matter what the outcome is, that you take your hand and you calm this situation like you calm many storms. I also pray that as this election comes up and everyone starts conversing, and usually it's a time where a lot of arguments get placed and a lot of sides get put on either left or right, I pray that all of us together can look at one another as brothers and sisters. And every other issue we're dealing with today, we know your hand's going to be placed upon it to help us. And we're going to be going throughout the next year with stuff hitting us left and right. I pray that you take it and you guide us through it. You show us that you're stronger than all of these, and that your will be done no matter what we think. And that's why we're putting this into your hands. Thank you for everything you've done for this meeting. Help everyone that is listening to this prayer right now and is praying along with me. We love you, Lord. We thank you for everything you've done. In Jesus' name, pray. Amen. See y'all.
Hello, my name's Maddie Harris. I'm the Vice Chair of College Republicans.
My name is Nathaniel Harris, and I'm the Treasurer of College Republicans.
And I'm Abigail Harris, and I'm the first Vice President of the Arkansas Republican Women's Virtual Club for the 3rd District.
And thank you for coming to our rectangular table discussion. We have a guest speaker with us today, Nick Robbins, the Executive Director of Returning Home, and he's going to be talking about reentry and the judicial system. These are topics that are passionate to me because of my criminal justice major, and I hope by the end of this video that they'll be passionate to you all as well. So Nick, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do at Returning Home.
Yeah, so Returning Home works with men and women coming from incarceration in Northwest Arkansas. We're housed in Springdale. We're right across from Neil's Cafe on Thompson. We provide services for men and women that are coming out of jail or prison. So if they got out yesterday or if they've been out for 10 years, as long as they have a criminal history, incarceration, then we help them out. So we do food, clothing, hygiene kits. We also assist in them getting jobs. Mental health services are on site as well. And then on the back, we have men living here that are paroled directly from prison for 90 days to go through our program. And so they live here and they work and they go through classes. We actually do 33 hours of classes a week. And we are a collaborative organization. So we have 5 different organizations all working here, officing in the same building. And so kind of a one-stop shop type of model. And then we have 10 other organizations that provide weekly services on site. So we'll go ahead and get started with the discussion because I know we don't have a lot of time. The first thing that we want to discuss, we'll go over 5 different things. So the bail system is what we'll start off with. So the first thing that they run into in an incarcerated setting, then we'll go into lawyers, then alternatives for jail, and then time served, and then we'll talk about some reentry stuff. So the first thing is to understand that the day you get arrested, the very next day you go in front of a judge and they're going to set a bail for you. And the bail is going to be based on your charge alone. So they won't know the circumstances, they won't know who you are or what your situation is. They'll just know you got X charge. So if you did an armed robbery, let's say it's $50,000 is what you're going to be charged. Or your bond, and you'd have to pay 10% of that. So you go to a bail bondsman, somebody, and they'd pay $5,000 and then put up collateral for the remainder of the amount, and you can get released. And let's say the guy the same day stole a vacuum cleaner, and they came in, the bail is $500. And so they'd have to pay $50 and put up some collateral, and they don't have that. They have no one in the community that are willing to put up that money. So the next day, the guy that committed armed robbery walks out of jail because he paid to walk out. And the guy that's sitting in there for a vacuum cleaner that couldn't pay the $50, he's going to stay incarcerated. So I explain that to let people understand that the people that are sitting in jail, it's less likely about the severity of crime and more about their level of poverty. So in the United States, we encourage poverty, and the bail system reinforces that. So to me, that's the first thing that we would need to start. If we were going to change something, that system's ridiculous, and it never made sense in the first place unless you have a bail bondsman company, and it makes a ton of sense.
How do you think it should be changed?
Yeah, so a number of other states, they're going completely doing away with the bail system. So the judge has the ability. So sitting there today, every judge in Arkansas has the ability to release somebody on their own recognizance. So like the idea that you're gonna ROI out. Here's your date that you need to come see me next time, and it's usually 3-4 months away, and you can get out. So they have that ability. The bail system was just supposed to be something extra they could use if they felt like it, but every single person that goes to jail is going to be given a bail amount now. So what came as here's another alternative became the norm, and a judge will be giving them the bond and they'll be like, why'd you do that? And they'll be like, well, that's just what we do.
Yeah.
And we've been doing that forever. And so in other states they've gotten rid of it because what they did is they did studies of this person had this type of crime and they bailed out. This person has this type of crime, and we just released them, ROI'd them out, and on average they show up the same rate. So the idea, what a bail bonds would tell you is, well, they're not going to run because we've got X amount for collateral if it's a car or it's a house or whatever. So they're going to show up to the court hearing more than somebody that doesn't have anything. And I go, but the person's freedom is based on them showing up to court. So like the most valuable thing in the world, and they're still going to miss it sometimes. Because this is a population that forgets appointments, and if you tell somebody like, hey, in 4 months, you need to show up at this time, likelihood, I would have to write it down. I wouldn't just remember. And so if I'm not a person that would normally write something down and has a calendar, well, I just wouldn't make it. And so that's something that's very simple that a lot of states are changing. Next thing would be a lawyer. So when you go in there, because of Gideon versus Wainwright, everyone has a right to have representation. So you're either going to get a paid attorney, and they're going to ask you day one, drop $2,000 as a retainer, and that's going to get you 10 hours worth of my efforts. Or we're going to give you a court-appointed attorney. And all court-appointed attorneys are actual regular attorneys. So that court-appointed attorney is going to show up, and they're going to ask you this question. This is when you know you're in trouble. Are you going to pay me? Am I going to pay you? I thought you were appointed to me. This is supposed to be for free. Right. I just need to know if you're going to pay me or not. So they're already telling you, I'm going to decide how much effort I'm going to put into this based on if you're going to hire me as your attorney or if I'm just a court-appointed attorney. And so just on average, what do you think in Atlanta a court-appointed attorney spends? How much time per case?
Minutes.
15, 20 minutes, maybe.
A couple hours.
Yeah. So 7 minutes on average a court-appointed attorney takes per case. So 7 minutes, and if I went to read this piece of paper, it's going to take me about 7 minutes. And this, this is going to give you the person's name, the basic charge, where the crime happened, and that's it.
Oh wow.
There's nothing.
There's nothing beyond that. And that court-appointed attorney has so many cases. They only have so many minutes in the day.
Right.
And because we don't invest in the defense side of things, there's only so many court-appointed attorneys. Their office, very tiny, very short staff. In comparison to the prosecuting attorney's office and how we fund it as a county and a state, it will blow your mind. You already know what we're trying to get accomplished based on their budgets. Because the budgets are coming from the same place, but one is barely gets any money and the one gets the bulk of it.
Right.
So just knowing you're going into that system, you're in trouble. And they call it cheap justice. 90 to 95% of people that are incarcerated take a plea bargain.
Really?
Wow.
And the reason is that you don't want to go to court with somebody that's not super prepared to represent
Right.
you, even if you got charged for 3 things, you only did one of those things, you're gonna get found guilty on most of those things. It's just you just don't want to get into that. So that 7 minutes, all that court-appointed attorney is doing is handing you a piece of paper and says, "Here's your plea bargain that the prosecuting office gave me. I need you to sign it, because this is the best I can do for you." But sir, you don't even know my name yet. That doesn't matter. Here's the piece of paper that you need to sign. So we've already set up a system that it is this cheap justice of we just need to get you into a prison bed as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Our jail's overcrowded. The court-appointed attorney's overworked. It's not their fault. They don't have the resources. It's not like they can say, well, I can't take any more people. I've already got too many already. So they don't have like a certain amount. You only can burden them so much. And then there's people sitting in jail going, well, you don't get an attorney. Well, because of that getting Wainwright, they have to give you somebody's name.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be your attorney if that person has time or not. So it's us not investing in the right things. Another thing, alternative to jail, and it's something I'm really passionate about because it's things that I'm looking to work on, is just community alternatives. So our facility, we house high risk folks. And we do it with this basically creating an example or creating an expectation of what we expect for you to be in society, walking alongside you, and then taking care of your stuff. Most people that are sitting in jail don't even have identification. Many of them, we've got a guy right now that doesn't know his social security number. Do you know how you can get your social security number? You can't. You need to know it.
Yeah.
And you go, well, we'll just give them your name. Well, they're not going to give you a social security card because you know your name.
Yeah.
So this guy has never had a social security number. And so we've got guys that are legal to be here and had the proper immigration paperwork prior to incarceration. When they got out, no one held on to that for them, and so they don't have it anymore. So this person's not illegal, they still don't have the paperwork. And you know who's going to get you the paper? Nobody.
No.
You know how difficult we got caseworkers working on a daily basis,
That sounds awful.
and they told us it's going to be 6 to 9 months.
Wow.
So this guy's not supposed to have a job. He's not supposed to be able to get an apartment and turn on his power and get car insurance and get like there's nothing you can do with no documentation.
Wow.
And on average, our residents that are coming out of incarceration, 60% of them do not have a single form of identification.
Oh my goodness, I didn't realize
So
that.
we so if they came into a community setting, so instead of this person serving 4 to 6 months in jail, waiting to see the judge, they came into my facility, and we did life with them, and we're working to get their identification, and we're working to get them a job, and we're working to get them to pay their child support, and we're making sure they're getting to all their court appointments, and we're helping them do life, so that when they go and see the judge, there's a good likelihood that the judge just goes, all right, well, time served, because that's what happens when you serve your time in jail. If you did your 4 months, a lot of those charges just get time served because they served more time than they would have got based on their crime.
Right.
So then these individuals are actually creating community, going to their kids' soccer game, still paying for their rent, still, and they're keeping up with everything. They could have kept the job if they did have a job, but they were just struggling with substance abuse. Well, now they're in a place that they're getting drug tested every day. They're going to substance abuse classes every single day of the week. So what we're able to do, and it costs us $30 a day to do that for somebody.
Wow.
It costs the county jail $62 a day to lay them on a mat on the floor.
Whoa.
So for less money, we're getting a better return on investment. So our ROI for corrections, the judicial system, is horrific. Like every dollar we invest does nothing to protect society. It does nothing to change the individual. It does nothing to
Just a pacifier.
to alleviate the stresses of overcrowding and too high case loads for the judges, and so we're spinning our wheels, and so we got to figure out ways to do that more affordably, cost effectively, and the best example that I've seen was in North Dakota. So I was sitting with the head of the Department of Corrections in North Dakota once, and we were at this warden exchange, and I was one of the speakers, and so wardens from all over the states and heads of corrections, and I asked her, I was like, so why are you here? Why would you have your staff not working, not running your prisons, and why would you have them here in this class? And she explained to me, she goes, well, one, we know what we're doing is not working, so that's easy to tell.
Yeah.
Because right now we can say it's their fault. It's always somebody else's fault. It's the individual's fault. We have no impact over them, positive or negatively. She goes, I decided we do have impact over them, and I needed to find out a way, and free, that I could change the outcomes of what we were doing. And she gave me so I just kept peppering her. Like, so what's an example? And so she gave me one example that has changed how I look at everything from hearing this. So she said, basically, our officers were mandated to give so many disciplinary reports. So every day, the officers are looking for what's wrong with these people. What did the offender do today, or what are they doing right now? So I can write it down, and I can punish them. And then it shows my superiors that I've been working hard this week. Because I punished a lot of people this week. And she just said, so our staff was started to just think all they're going to do is something wrong. And now they're not even humans. They're just, they're people that are going to victimize, a situation. And so she said, I just decided to change it. We started a protocol of character reports. So every one disciplinary, that same officer has to write 3 character reports. And so they're going to sit down and they're going to go, I saw Jim help so-and-so, and he had showed such good character in that moment, I wrote him up. And then I sat him down and said, Jim, you know what I saw you do? He's like, oh, well, what'd I do? I saw you show good character. And I wanted to reward you with this report to support that positive behavior. And if 3 times, so instead of 1 report disciplinary every day, you got 3 character reports. Even if you did get a disciplinary, you're going to learn more from that character report because that was that positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
You're always going to learn more if somebody says, you know what, you're doing a really great job. You did X, Y, and Z. I didn't even know I was doing that really good, but I'm going to do it even better now because that made me feel good.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of just beating somebody down and saying, I'm going to put you in the prison of the prison. I'm going to put you in solitary, and I'm not going to let you see the sun, and I'm not going to let you shower, and I'm going to let you talk to yourself for hours and days upon days for years. Instead, I'm going to go, you did a really great job. I'm going to come alongside you in that and just make sure that you're replicating that behavior. And so, and I just asked her, I go, so how'd the staff take that? Because, I've worked in the Missouri Department of Corrections, Arkansas Department of Corrections as a contract worker, and that's not why everyone's there, to build people up in that environment.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, we lost a lot of staff.
Oh.
A lot of people quit just going, that's not what I want to do with my time. I don't want to look for the positive in these people. I was here to punish people. So if I can't punish them, that can't be my focus, I'm out of here. And then her hiring process changed. That's now a part of the hiring process. That's one of the first things they say. If you're not comfortable with seeing somebody's positive characteristics and pointing them out and reaffirming them, this is not the job for you. I applied for a prison guard? Are you sure we're talking about the same thing? Yeah, in North Dakota, that's what we do.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And so then different people are being hired, more social worker mindsets.
Yeah.
And the individual's doing better, and the individuals are doing so much better that they're thinking now, every time an officer looks at them, they're looking to see the positive in their behaviors. Not, what are you doing wrong, or how are you trying to take advantage of us? You're going to hurt somebody right now. It's like, can somebody please do positive things? I've got a lot of reports to write.
Right.
And so then and they call them residents there instead of offenders, which is, that in itself is a huge mind shift.
Right.
When you're told, hey, offender, every single day, or offender so-and-so, come here and do this.
Yeah.
And so you're changing my identity. They started writing character reports on the officers.
Really?
So they started mailing it to the head of the Department of Corrections is getting mail every day saying, like, your officers showed great character when they did this or when they did that. So then think about the officer. That then gets a message from the head of corrections.
Yeah.
Keep up the great work. I heard you're just crushing it out there. You're doing a great job, and I appreciate that. So now it's a different structure. And last time, I'm trying to think when we saw each other last meeting. Oh, we were at the we're in Louisiana at the American Corrections Association together, and I asked them, I go, has anything changed? They go, yeah, we now actually barbecue together.
Whoa.
What?
They're like, we play sports together now. So like they totally broke the barriers of like this negative stigma. If I play basketball with you, you'll probably try to hurt me. Or if I eat some food with you, you'll probably try to take advantage of me. You'll probably try to get more ketchup than you're supposed to have or something. And so like this mindset just breaks down going, you're a good neighbor. I want to create a good neighbor. And all this stemmed from, there's a thing on Netflix, a documentary called Breaking the Cycle. And Breaking the Cycle is based on this warden in Norway. And he just completely built his system to create a good neighbor. And it's doing that. And North Dakota, among many states, now send their staff to Norway to learn with this man. And then they walk in. He was in New Orleans, and I went up and I shook his hand. And I go, man, this is a huge moment for me to get to meet you. And he's like, what? Do you know who I am? I was like, yeah, you're on Netflix. He's like, okay. So I'm assuming in Norway, Netflix is not a big deal.
Apparently.
Because he was confused at how I knew him and why I thought he's doing a big thing. Based on time served, it's 100% based on your crime. It has nothing to do with your behavior. So when you walk into the Arkansas Department of Corrections, you're going to get a TE date. And so that's a discharge date that says, on this day, you're going to go home as long as you don't commit any new crimes. Mm-hmm. So it has nothing to do with if I did anything positive while I was there or not. So it's not like, hey, if you follow the rules and complete all these programs and we're really impressed with you, we're going to let you, by doing the right thing, we're going to reward you by getting the right good rewards. And so the system in itself doesn't reward positive behavior. Right. I mean, even down to the jobs. So if you're working at a really cruddy job in the prison system, so a lot of the jobs are farm-based. So they produce a lot of cattle, plants. Now they sell that stuff to feed other people, and then buy cheaper food for the people that are actually incarcerated that are making that food. But so if you are hand picking cornfields, and you go, man, there's a different job I really would love. You would not get that job if you did a really good job, because they need to keep you there. Mm-hmm. And the guy that was asleep in the middle of the cornfield the entire day, he's going to get that really good job, because he's never going to pick that cornfield. Right. And the hope is if we give him that really good job, he'll actually do something and be productive. And we just need these things done. So this isn't based on how well you do. I just need you to do the worst job you're willing to do, and I'm going to keep you doing that worst job. So there's just nothing based on you do something right in life and the right thing will happen. Right. And that, it seems so simple, but these men and women, their mindsets aren't even that way. They expect life to be okay no matter what they pour into it. So they're not looking to reap what they sow. And if we don't ever change that mindset of, hey, so if you're putting this good foundation and good things happen, or the opposite, nothing's going to change, and we have them in this structure that we could totally flip everything. We could do in Norway and just go, you doing positive things happen to you, and you walk out the door and be a good neighbor, and you go, I know how to do this because I've been taught this. So right now, what's being taught in the corrections system is only teaching you to be a good inmate. It's only teaching you to wait to go to the bathroom when you're told to go to the bathroom, shower when you're told to go to the shower, go eat when they told you it's time for you to go eat, go to work when they tell you to go to work. So they're doing everything for you, and then when the day you walk out, you have to now make 30,000 decisions a day. Oh. Yeah. And I wasn't used to making any decisions because I was just told what to do. So if you're just used to being told what to do, when you get out there and now I'm making my own decisions, well, we already know you made poor decisions prior to incarceration, and if we didn't address that in any way during your incarceration, well, we can't expect anything different from you. Mm-hmm. So if we're spending, $500 million on corrections, and none of that money is going to reentry, then we don't value that. To me, the reentry process is the most important because that's the one that's going to affect the community at the highest rate. Mm-hmm. So a large portion of our budget should be invested in that. Right. Exactly. And my belief on that is we need to invest in the nonprofits in the communities that have the majority of people coming back, because these communities are already high crime, low income, high poverty. The nonprofits, the different providers are already struggling to make ends meet, and then you're pouring more people with actually more difficult issues. So what's common about this population, 80% have a substance abuse issue, 79% have been sexually and physically abused between the ages of 1 and 12. And what's the other statistic? So we got trauma, we've got addiction is how they do it, and then 52% of them have a serious mental illness. So we know all these things are coming to these communities, and we're not funding them to help them in those issues. The trauma.
Speaking to us today and sharing how returning home is affecting positive change in our community. Can you just let us know how we can show our support as a club or whoever's watching this video?
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity. And the first thing would be just to share the video, just because what that does is that puts the information out there and let people know, because ultimately we can make a change if it's through a vote or it's through our occupation. Or through our donations, we can make a change in the system by doing that. And then also just, like the simple things, we do a lot of hygiene kits. We give all of our clients, so 45 a month, shampoo, toothpaste, deodorant, toothbrush, bars of soap. So all that stuff adds up to a lot. So if you wanted to do some drive on that stuff, you get a bunch of shampoo or something like that, that'd be a huge blessing. Definitely check us out on the website returninghome.nwa.com. And right now, because of our current situation, we're definitely in some need of some milk. Everybody's capped out at two per person, and we go through 30 to 35 gallons a week of milk because of all the men that are living here. So if you want to drop off some milk right now, that'd be a huge blessing too. So anything you do, appreciate it. Keep us in your prayers, because this population is high needs, but is absolutely rewarding. It's such a blessing to be able to serve them. So thank you so much for your time.